All of the high-speed tactical training in great facilities like this one is for nothing if one of your partners or family members bleeds out in the street. Today, Magpul Dynamics medical instructor Kerry Davis is going to teach us how something as simple as this could save a life.
Contact front! Right, let's go! Man down! Man down! Fight to the threat! Threat down!
Right leg, my thigh.
Bleeding out! Get tourniquet on. Identify that wound, expose it. Higher up, get it high up on the leg. There you go. How are you gonna know when that bleeding stopped? Gotta watch for it.
Tear it open.
Exactly, tear it open, look for it. Watch that bleeding stop. It's gonna get away.
Good there?
Good.
All right, bleeding has stopped. I'd exposed it. Threat's been neutralized.
All right, continue to assess for threats. You're good to go. Back in the fight. Contact front! Right to the threat! Still got a threat! The tourniquet on. Move in! Good. Threat's neutralized.
Right arm. Got pressure on it. Just started to get my tourniquet on.
Good. Remember, if your buddy's still back in the fight, he can still cover security for you. How high up you can get that tourniquet? Good. What you looking for?
Got to keep moving it until I don't see red anymore.
That's it.
No more squirting blood.
He can bleed out from that wound.
That's good.
In a few minutes. He'll let you know because he'll start screaming.
Okay, you're up.
Back in the fight. Good run, guys. Index.
Awesome stuff, Kerry.
Thanks.
Really appreciate you coming in to share what you guys are doing under the Magpul banner with medical information. I think a lot of people obviously know that Magpul makes great gear. Everybody's aware that you got some great techniques and tactics you're teaching on the firearm side, but talk to me a little bit about the medical program and what we're seeing here today with our officer down.
With the officer down drill we have here, we are trying to utilize battlefield medicine principles on the civilian law enforcement agencies, having them use tourniquets appropriately to increase officer survivability because we're seeing more combat-like wounds on the civilian streets. And so if we can do anything to increase officer survivability, then we're going to try to get as much information out there to these guys as possible.
And one of the biggest pieces of information that have come out of the medical world over the last decade is the emphasis on tourniquets and efficient tourniquet use, application, everybody having a tourniquet. What are the high points of this drill that we just saw here that you're trying to convey to Kyle and I and everybody else in the drill?
All right, the high points of the drill, basically, if you engage a threat, you fight through the threat, neutralize the threat, and then you have to look after your partner. Troop welfare comes second. Mission accomplishment always comes first.
Great. Now, for people at home, and I know for some of the civilian students we have standing by, even the application of a tourniquet or understanding the different types of tourniquets out there may be something brand new. A little bit later in the show, you're going to be going over some of that stuff and showing the application in the civilian self-defense environment?
Absolutely. We cover several different tourniquets and their application, proper use. That's paramount.
Awesome. Kerry, I appreciate you being here on SWAT Magazine TV.
Thank you, Rob.
Stay tuned for more important medical information, including the types and use of tourniquets in a civilian self-defense environment.
Being an armed citizen means having a gun with you all the time. Carrying a firearm every day requires a holster that is both concealable and comfortable. Whether you choose our Super Tuck Deluxe or Mini Tuck, you'll have the confidence that comes from being discreetly and comfortably armed, prepared to face unforeseen dangers. Crossbreed holsters are handmade in the USA, come with a lifetime warranty, and a 2-week try-it-free guarantee. Order your holster today at crossbreedholsters.com.
Okay guys, we're going to talk about some tourniquets real quick and how some of the tourniquets can apply in different situations, the proper use and application of a tourniquet. How many of y'all are familiar with tourniquet use? Anybody ever used a tourniquet in real life? You have, okay. And you know how stressful that can actually be. Absolutely. So just like when you're when you're practicing with your firearm, you need to practice with these tourniquets as well. And the good thing is you can practice with minimal problem and no risk of injury to yourself. But just like anything, long-term potentiation is the key. Some of the tourniquets we're going to talk about is the S.W.A.T, the S.W.A.T. It's a special, the stretch, wrap, and tuck tourniquet. And we also have the NATO tourniquet here. And you can even look at, believe it or not, a stick and a couple of cravats. This can be an improvised tourniquet. You don't have to have anything that's store-bought because you may be in a situation where you may not have anything on you. I do recommend people carrying tourniquets, especially with the latest shootings that have been occurring in public settings. With a combat application tourniquet, this is one of the most widely fielded tourniquets in the military right now in the combat theaters, and it's been used with a fair degree of success. They had over 865 applications of tourniquets back in 2008, and there were absolutely no limbs lost to tourniquet application. So that's pretty high success rate right there, and with about an 87% survivability rate. That speaks pretty highly. We've seen a paradigm shift in tourniquet use. We want to make sure that tourniquets are put on first because combat injuries, rapid bleeding out from wounds, you can lose over a liter of blood in less than a minute and go into shock. Walk you through this. Okay, go ahead and put it up on your arm there. Let's say you're using your non-dominant arm, your reaction arm. Get that thing cinched down. Okay. Okay.
Okay, is this all, this just hang here?
All right. This is good right here. What you can do is you can bring that around. Yeah. That's fine. But what you've done, you've got that Velcro closed right there. Yeah. Then what you want to start doing is turning that windlass. All right, now, you don't have to crank down so tight you shut all your blood flow off. That's going to be pretty painful. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a scenario where you're having an active shooter situation and you're going to engage the threat, and you get hit in your non-dominant hand, or your what we call the reaction hand, and you continue to fire, neutralize the threat, and then what I want you to do is safe and holster your weapon, get behind cover, and apply a tourniquet. Okay, we're going to do a dry run of this first, so let's go ahead and get your weapons. We're concerned about time because from the time the tourniquet is applied, that tissue is without oxygen. And time equals tissue, okay?
Right down.
Right leg, my thigh.
I've been in the medical field for 18 years, and I started out as an ER medic in the U.S. Air Force and took a special duty assignment up to Fort Bragg and Pope Air Force Base working with the Air Force's only tactical air medical evacuation service. So I went to flight school, and since we worked with a lot of Army units, I ended up going to Army Airborne School, did a good bit of specialized medical training, and then went into, I started teaching medical readiness at Officer Training School as I worked as a civilian paramedic to help pay the bills. And then I got out of active duty Air Force in 2001 and started nursing school. And I've been a critical care and emergency room RN for the last almost 8 years now. Okay, gonna get that tourniquet on, get it bleeding out, man. You're bleeding out. Magpul Dynamics itself was founded in 2007 as a training offshoot of the company of Magpul Industries, which was founded in 1999 by Rich Fitzpatrick. He was a former recon Marine. Dynamics started in 2007, and I stood the Magpul Dynamics Medical Training Division up last year, 2010. Magpul Dynamics Medical is a course that's based in my 18 years medical experience, trying to bring what I've learned in the military and in the civilian world and apply it to civilians and law enforcement communities, government agencies, to try to increase their survivability in case anything went bad. How many of y'all are familiar with tourniquet use? Anybody ever used a tourniquet in real life? You have, okay. We have a couple of program offerings. We have Dynamic Shooter Aid, which is basically a 2-day non-live fire class geared up to 20 students, and it's based on the layperson who has little to no medical experience whatsoever. We also have a 3-day class. It's called Dynamic Shooter Aid 2, and that is basically the first 2 days are exactly the same, and with the addition of a third day of live fire stress inoculation. With that, we incorporate our principles of reality, efficiency, consistency, and I even throw in simplicity because I try to keep it as simple as possible to teach these guys, hey, you don't need a mobile trauma bay on your hip just to save somebody's life. You can use whatever's at hand. All right, this is good right here. What you can do, you can bring that around, that's fine. I want to help people. Honestly, I have a passion for sharing knowledge that can increase their survivability. If I taught 10,000 people and one person used the material that I have given them, then everything I've done has been worth it.
Where are you going to check the pulse at?
All right, good. Does it hurt?
Yes.
Good. You got it on good then. All right, good job, guys.
SWAT Magazine delivers great information straight to your doorstep every month. Head over to SWATmag.com and subscribe today. As instructors, we often get asked which firearms we prefer or recommend. I thought it'd be interesting to ask our experts whether they prefer the AR-15 or the AK-47.
I prefer the AR. Can't argue the AK's reliability, but the newer systems, if you take care of them, they won't fail you either.
Prefer AR just because it's a system that more people are probably familiar with, and I think it's something that probably punch and power, there's probably more punch and more power to an AK than is necessary. For home defense, you're probably going to get more than you want if you use certain types of rounds and that type of round.
AR all day long. The AR is a good platform that does good things up close, loaded properly with the right ammunition, and it also is very, very accurate out to distance, so it can be used in both close quarters battle or in distance.
Obviously, I'd probably go with an AR because I'm more familiar with that. You know, it's kind of funny to see some of the AR platforms out there. You know, you can have more items on that particular firearm than the gun is probably worth. But, you know, military background, I definitely go AR all day.
AR. I mean, just the modularity that you can get out of it. I think there's plenty of, I think for most of the scenarios that we're talking about here, the caliber is really not going to be the issue. I think being able to customize it for the owner's specific needs are going to be far more important.
AR. It's the best weapon system on the planet that I've seen so far. A lot of guys talk about how well the AK works, but if you want to hit what you're shooting at, you probably want to go with an AR.
AR. American made. It's just, I know how rugged the AK is. There's no doubt about it. It's a great weapon in and of itself, but I'm former military, so I'm AR all the way.
Being an armed citizen means having a gun with you all the time. Carrying a firearm every day requires a holster that is both concealable and comfortable. Whether you choose our Super Tuck Deluxe or Mini Tuck, you'll have the confidence that comes from being discreetly and comfortably armed, prepared to face unforeseen dangers. Crossbreed holsters are handmade in the USA, come with a lifetime warranty, and a 2-week try-it-free guarantee. Order your holster today at crossbreedholsters.com.
Welcome to Personal Defense Network. For years, we've been the internet's leading destination for high-quality information on equipment, training, and your preparation for personal or home defense. Our videos are meant for those who are serious about enhancing their ability to use efficient techniques to survive a dynamic critical incident. But now we've stepped things up even higher. We've added hours of high-quality training videos just for our premium members. This content takes the body of work that is the Personal Defense Network up to an even higher level. We've got the same types of experts that you're used to seeing, the people who know not only what to teach, but also how to teach, and most specifically, how to convey that information to you efficiently with premium online content. This is simply the best stuff you can find on the web. So how do you get started as a premium member? Simple. First, choose the plan that suits you. You can either pay monthly or sign up for a whole year in advance. Then, you're going to find categories of videos that are meant exclusively for you to help enhance your preparation for personal defense. Let's go inside and take a look. On the categories page, you'll find that all of our topics are organized in a way that makes sense so that you can easily find the information you're looking for. Once you go to a specific category, you'll see our normal short-length video tips. You'll also see step-by-step drills with written instructions, as well as full-length courses that are designed to help you learn as efficiently as you can with the time you've got. And of course, as you've come to expect from the Personal Defense Network, we're always adding new information. We're constantly out taping and collecting video with experts from around the world that you can find inside of your premium membership. And the best thing, you'll be able to take this membership with you with a smartphone, mobile device, or simply log in at whatever computer you happen to be by. Our goal at the Personal Defense Network is simple: provide you with the highest quality video learning tips that are available. You'll find them inside of the premium membership. All you have to do is choose how to get started, monthly or annually, and I'll see you on the inside.
Have y'all do is you're going to engage this threat down here as if it's you're in a mall, you're just doing some shopping. You may be a husband-wife team, you may be both have concealed carry permits. Apply the tourniquet to yourself, other person, continue to engage the threat till I give you the threats neutralized, and then you maintain security. Any questions?
No.
All right, shooters ready? Threat! Threats neutralized. Okay, gonna get that tourniquet on, get it bleeding out, man. You're bleeding out. There you go. Get that Velcro on there, good. Get it up high. Higher the better. Turn off the faucet, turn off the faucet. That's all you gotta do. Awesome. All right, how you know if the bleeding stopped?
No pulse. No bleeding.
Where are you going to check the pulse at? All right, good. Does it hurt?
Yes.
Good. You got it on good then. All right, good job, guys. Go ahead, safe holster, index.
Good stuff, Kerry. Mixing in the live fire with the actual practice on applying the tourniquet really obviously steps it up, makes it a little harder, makes it a little bit more serious for people.
Absolutely. We try to emphasize stress inoculation as much as possible. That way, whenever, if anything ever did happen, we'll be able to fall back on that training.
And what comes next? So in this scenario, we had a threat, someone took a hit, they apply the tourniquet, somebody else is maintaining security. What other things people need to be worried about in this scenario?
In this scenario, other than the person maintaining security to search and assess for other threats, 911 comms. Basically, knowing how to speak to 911 dispatchers, get ambulances on scene, get fire on scene, police on scene, obviously, and making yourself as non-threatening as possible, because our officers coming into a building, they're going to be focusing on the threat. If you look like a threat, you may become the next casualty.
Absolutely. Now, of course, getting the live fire in there and getting that amped up kind of lethal situation involved is important, but also I imagine that because of the administrative constraints, like needing the holster before we go down, things like that, for safety, force-on-force stuff works really well for this?
Absolutely. I mean, we always try to stress realism as much as possible, but again, with this scenario, safety is at the forefront.
Absolutely. Listen, I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate everything that you and the entire Magpul Dynamics and Magpul Dynamic Medical team are doing to help everybody be safer on the street, be ready to help themselves. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching SWAT Magazine TV.